before we actually get any glue on our pieces, we're going to just make sure we know what goes where and to make sure it's painted the right color. So I'm just going to do a quick little kind of dry fit to make sure I know where things go before I actually start gluing things on. As I'm looking at the pieces that have been painted, some of them I need to kind of just smooth down the edges. They've got little raggedy paint edges, and so I can just do that with my finger or thumbnail. All right, this one's a doorknob. All right, the little candy pieces here. Oops. All right, the roof. Okay. Oh, and then the little candy pieces. Oh, here we go. Yeah. There. And just to kind of lay out, make sure I know what's going where. And that I painted everything the colors I wanted to paint it. All right. Here. Oops, that one goes that way. Oh, this one's got some rough edges. I'm going to smooth down a bit. Oh, nope, this one goes here. It's a good thing I do this before I glue. Okay, there. The smoke. Okay, there we go. We've finished our coats of paint, and we actually ended up applying 3 coats. And everything is dry, and we're about to start gluing things up. For this step, you're going to need some wood glue. And you can use Elmer's glue, that works fine. And then you need something heavy to set on top of your pieces that are glued so that you get good surface to surface pressure. You can use, we just are using a gallon of paint because we're here in the workshop. You can use cups filled with water, and that works fine too. And I think that's all we need, so we're going to get started gluing. All right, I'm going to start with the smoke because that determines where the little house goes, how far up or down. So I'm going to put a little glue on the back of the smoke. And I don't want to do too much because then it'll ooch out or smush out. And so I put it where it goes. I'm going to press it down. All right, and then I'm going to do the same thing with the cabin or the house, and then we'll put something real heavy on it so the wood doesn't bow. And when I'm placing my house, I want to make sure that the house is flush against the bottom of the Mickey, and then I also want to eye the candy canes and make sure they're having about the same distance from the edge of the Mickey, and then also the chimney to make sure that it's giving room for the smoke. And at this point I'm going to press down and I'm going to place my heavy gallon of paint on it, and I'm going to put it on the house and the smoke. And then I have a second gallon of paint that I'm also going to put down on this side. So I let that set until the glue was dry, and now I'm ready to do the next layer of wood. And I'm going to start with the bottom here, the door, and the candy canes. Since they're touching each other, I want to make sure they line up well when I glue them on so that it does a nice job. As I'm gluing, if I come across a piece that has a little ragged edge, I do press it down. All right. Okay. So I'm going to start with the bottom, and I'm going to use not a ton of glue, but just a little. Less is more and works better than having too much glue. All right. So I've lined that up where it needs to go and press it down. And then I'm going to do the same thing with these 2 candy canes. And that's probably too much glue, so I'm actually going to share it. And that's about right. Okay. And the candy canes have to line up with the house and the door bottom, and so that's why I need to glue them together. Okay, once they are in the right spot, I'm going to press down to get the glue compressed, because if you don't, it will skate and move as it dries. All right, once it's down where it needs to go, one last little check, and then I'm going to set my weight on top again. There we go. All right, now we're ready for the little peppermints and the roof, which is the next layer. And so I'm going to check my edges, make sure they're smooth. And the peppermints are nice because I have a little line that shows me where to put them. All right. And this is one of those times where if you accidentally used too much glue and it smooshes out, go ahead and wipe it up gently with either your finger or a little toothpick just to get that excess out of the way. And each time I'm pressing it down to disperse the glue, because if not, when it dries, it will skate. For the roof, when I glue it, I want to line it up carefully with these little scalloped edges. And I don't want to do too much glue, but that should be enough. And you can really see it beginning to take shape. All right. Okay, and I'm going to lay something heavy on this so it can dry as well. So we've got the larger pieces on, and what's left are the small pieces. And when I'm gluing the small pieces on, I like to use a toothpick to apply the glue so that I don't get too much. And so I'm going to squirt a little glue on this plate and then use the toothpick to help apply it. All right. Now, it's not so much here on the base that it's difficult, but along this little edge here, I'm just going to put tiny little dots of glue. Okay. All right, and then this goes right here. Okay. All right, these last little pieces, we're going to go ahead and start with the Mickey door wreath. It's the larger of the Mickey head cutouts. And it goes, there's a circle on the door. You can see where it's going to go. All right. And the doorknob is the small circle. And for it, you just put it where you would put a doorknob. There's no marking on the door for it, so you just put it where you want it. All right, and for these, we did them alternating colors, green, blue, not blue, green, red. And so, however you designed your colors, that's how you'll want to place them. And I do these with the Mickey ears pointing up, but you could do them out if you wanted. That would be cute too. And I think this is a great design to play with different colors. You know, you could get two, and you know, your kids could do one, or each kid could do their own and design it how they wanted. That would be so fun, I think. Lots of families get this and do their family name. So it's like a family magnet for for their doors and they'll put their family name here. But you could do, you know, everybody get their own gingerbread house and decorate it the way they want to. I would have totally gotten into that as a kid. All right. What we're left with is the snow that goes on top of the chimney and a long and short candy cane. Now, the short one and the long one, and you've got to be careful how you place them because the roof angle is in a certain direction, and then also the scallops from the snow on top of the chimney. So there's only one way that those will fit. If you try to place them the other way, you'll see, oh, that's not going to work. So you just have to pay attention to that. All right, so I'm going to start with the small one, and it goes right on the edge of that chimney up against the roof. All right, and then the large one. And with these pieces, you can tell, maybe you can tell from the video, that a little glue is squishing out on the sides. And that's okay, because I'm going to clean it up before it dries. But I'm pressing these down real hard because I want them to have a good connection to the surface. I'm not going to clean that glue up yet. I'm going to get this one in place first. Okay, and press it down. And sometimes the glue is a little easier to clean up after it's dried, just a little. It comes up better than smear. If you clean it too soon, it kind of just smears. All right, and then this one goes right here, and I'm going to press it down too. All right, and you can see it's looking so good. All right, and then I'm going to clean up the glue with the clean end of my toothpick. I'm just going to run it along where it kind of scooched out and clean off that glue. All right, and there are some places on my gingerbread house that need a little touch-up paint, and after these dry, that will be a perfect time to do any little touch-up places.